Alright, here we go. Very recently was the 1-year anniversary of the release of Andy Muschietti's The Flash movie that was in development for like 9 years. And not only was the movie really split and it bombed really badly at the box office, but its controversy with the main star, Ezra Miller, was insane if I were to put it lightly. And I thought it would be interesting to revisit this film 1 year later after its release and share my thoughts and opinions about it. So yay, it's my turn to piss people off in the internet.
My future's looking up. Oh, fuck.
And I know a lot of people know the controversy of Ezra Miller and what they did. Like, he's basically the reverse Flash in real life. And I know a lot of people hate this movie, but also blindly hate it and refuse to watch it. Like, come on. The numbers show y'all. So, despite all this, what do I think of Andy Muschietti's The Flash movie? I actually like it.
Well, hey, somebody's about to get shot.
Get the out.
Controversial take, I know. And I don't care. There are many things in this movie that I really like, heck, even love. And there are things in this movie that I definitely do not like at all. So, let's begin at the start of the running track, shall we? So for those of you who do not know what this movie is about, I'm gonna break it down for you. So The Flash is a movie about, well, The Flash. While being late for work, because the ongoing joke about The Flash is that even though he's the fastest motherfucker in the world, he always shows up late. Batman calls him for help with saving a hospital building from falling while he chases down the son of Falcone across Gotham. The building collapses and a nurse with like 10 CGI babies and a service dog falls, and Barry saves them. Afterwards, Barry visits his childhood home, where he lived with his parents, Nora and Henry Allen, before Henry's wrongful imprisonment for Nora's murder. On the day of her death, Nora sent Henry to the grocery store for a can of food that she forgot to buy, leaving her alone in the kitchen where she was killed by an unknown killer. Overcome by emotions, Barry accidentally uses the Speed Force to form a chronal bowl and travels back in time to earlier in the day. Despite Bruce's warnings of time travel's unintended consequences, Barry places the can in Nora's cart at the store so that his father will not have to leave the house. As he returns to the present, Barry is knocked out of the Cronin Bowl by an unknown speedster and arrives in an alternate 2013 where Nora is alive. He encounters his parents and his past self and realizes he messed up, and this is the day he originally obtained his powers. To ensure his past self gains superpowers, the two Barrys go to the Central City Police Department, where Barry reenacts the event of how he got his powers, for 2013 Barry to be struck by lightning. But, during an argument, both end up getting struck by the lightning, giving 2013 Barry powers, but causing Barry to lose his own. As Barry struggles to train 2013 Barry, they learn that General Zod is preparing to invade Earth. In an effort to fight Zod, the Barrys attempt to assemble the Justice League, but are unsuccessful because, in this timeline, never existed. They travel to Wayne Manor, hoping to find Bruce, but instead find an alternate variant who has long retired, who is also the iconic 80s Batman from Tim Burton's Batman film. They convince Bruce to return as Batman and help them find Superman. The Barrys and Batman locate a Kryptonian pod discovered in Siberia. Upon going there, they instead find Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, who is Supergirl, imprisoned in the facility. They rescue Kara and return to Wayne Manor. Not trusting humanity, Kara leaves. Barry enlists Bruce's help to regain his power once more, The first two attempts fail until Kara comes back to fly Barry into the storm, where he regains his powers. Kara and Batman join the Barrys to fight Zod and his forces. During the battle, Kara learns that Zod had intercepted Superman's escape pod from Krypton and killed him while attempting to extract the Codex needed to repopulate the Kryptonian species. Zod reveals that the Codex is actually within Kara. They fight, and Zod subdues and kills her, then extracts the Codex from her blood. Meanwhile, Batman sacrifices himself in an attempt to destroy Zod's ship. The Barrys, heartbroken, repeatedly time travel to save Batman and Kara but keep failing. Barry realizes that this sequence of events cannot be changed, but 2013 Barry keeps trying, much to Barry's dismay. As 2013 Barry travels, the multiverse starts to implode. The unknown speedster who initially knocked Barry out of the Speed Force returns and is revealed to be an older, future version of 2013 Barry, who still believes he can defeat Zod and save his Earth. He becomes angry when Barry reveals his intention to reverse the changes he made to the timeline by letting their mom die. The elder 2013 Barry attempts to kill Barry, but instead impales young 2013 Barry, there's so many Barrys, who sacrifices himself to save Barry and wipe his future self from the timeline. Heartbroken, Barry reverts the timeline and accepts his mother's death. However, he subtly alters the past by moving the tomato cans to a higher shelf. Returning to the present day, Barry attends Henry's court hearing, where the security footage now reveals Henry looking up to grab the soda can, allowing for his release and alibi. Barry is then contacted by Bruce, whose appearance has changed once again as a result of the timeline change. And that's basically how the movie ends. So, if you're not familiar with the comics, this film is loosely adapting the comic book Flashpoint, where the story is more or less the same. But instead of 80s Batman helping, it's Batman's father, Thomas, who is a more violent and broken Batman, who in that world, Bruce Wayne dies instead of his parents. In the comic, the world is broken and torn apart, as Aquaman and Wonder Woman wage war against each other, instead of Zod coming to Earth looking for Supergirl. And speaking of, in the comic, Barry teams up with Thomas and Cyborg, and find not Supergirl, but Superman being held captive in the facility. And he's very pale and skinny because he has never been in contact with the sun. And basically, Flash inspires Thomas to help him fight both Aquaman and Wonder Woman as the world goes to shit. The biggest difference, I would say, is the inclusion of Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, who's been taunting Barry and his mother throughout the story. And as Barry fights him, believing him to be the cause of Flashpoint and the events of this world, Thawne reveals that Barry was the one that caused these events, and he makes Barry remember the day he found out that Thawne was the one who killed his mother, and Barry goes and alters time to save his mother's life, which caused Flashpoint. Leaving Barry freaking out, Thomas kills Thawne. As everyone in the whole world is dying around them, Thomas tells Barry to fix everything, gives him a letter he wrote to his son Bruce, and Flash runs back in time to stop himself from saving their mom from their death.
Who the hell? Get away! Mom, I'm so sorry.
Then he appears in his world, and he talks to Bruce Wayne about what happened, and he gives Batman the letter his father wrote for him. As he tears up, he thanks Barry for the letter, and that's how Flashpoint ends. There are some similarities and a lot of differences between these two stories. And this is my take. Look, I fucking love Flashpoint. It's one of my favorite DC comics of all time. And honestly, one of my favorites, period. And there is an animated movie that has adapted the comic book. And by the way, this movie is fantastic. And fun fact, Michael B. Jordan voices Cyborg in this movie. And he's really good. And honestly, it does the story better than the comic. But here's the thing. My thoughts and feelings are conflicted on this subject because I was not expecting a direct adaptation of Flashpoint to be the Flash movie because 1, there is the animated movie, and 2, the DCEU and its world itself has barely been introduced. Like, we've had the Wonder Woman, Justice League, and Aquaman movie, and yeah, we could have had the war between Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but the context in the comic is very important, and since these characters have been around for decades, and the DCEU has been around for only 1 decade, we can't expect them to pull off why there was a war in the first place, because there has only been 1 Justice League movie. If we had more time to develop the relationship and camaraderie between Aquaman and Diana, then yeah, it could have maybe worked, but this is the DCEU we're talking about. So I do really like that they incorporated the story of Man of Steel into the narrative because it makes more sense. We saw Man of Steel. We had time with that movie, and since Barry is stuck in 2013, the year Man of Steel takes place, it makes perfect sense as to why he has to face Zod. And I loved Michael Keaton's Batman in the movie, and honestly, this is the best his Batman has ever been. Like, I enjoy the original Tim Burton Batman movies, but I don't love them. But here he's so badass, and his death was actually pretty emotional. Keaton's Batman was one of the best parts of the movie, for sure. But as much as I love Keaton's Batman in this movie, I would have fucking loved to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan to portray Thomas Wayne's Batman in the Flash movie, since he is Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman. And having Flashpoint Batman in the movie would have been narratively stronger in my opinion, because Ben Affleck's Batman is a very damaged and broken version of the character. And in my humble opinion, Ben Affleck's Batman here is the best iteration of his character. He shows up to be a badass. He has a really good conversation with Barry about their pain, and it's actually something Batman would say. And this is my opinion, but his Batman suit is pretty cool in this movie. I don't know why people even said that's the worst Batman movie suit they've seen when this shit exists. Like, come on. Let's be real, guys. And speaking of him, I actually laughed so hard when I saw Clooney's Batman appear in the end. But it also opens up new questions like, what the fuck are they gonna do now? I don't know, it was funny, but now I'm confused because we just gotta wait and see what James Gunn does, I guess. If he even does anything. And I'm gonna say it. My only main issue with this film was the multiverse stuff in this movie. Just does not work. I really love the whole movie until the Dark Flash pulls up at the end. For me, that's where the whole movie falters. Like, I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. I saw this movie at an early screening, like a couple weeks before it came out. And a studio exec of Warner Brothers was there. And during the whole multiverse shenanigans at the end, he was literally looking at us like, it just doesn't work. And honestly, except Nicolas Cage's Superman, all these classic versions of these characters legitimately look like AI. And the whole Dark Flash thing just doesn't work. Like, the first time we saw him was pretty badass. Cause Homie G literally just spawned and wanted to smoke. And he bitch slaps Barry into 2013. If anything, I think having younger Barry go crazy and have him fight our Barry in the end, or just have Reverse Flash be in this movie, honestly. Like, His inclusion to Flashpoint and overall the Flash's story and lore is very important. So it honestly confuses me why they didn't have Thawne in this movie like at all. And by the way, James Gunn, please cast Anthony Starr as Eobard Thawne. He'd be perfect, my G. Also, Sasha Calle fucking killed it as Supergirl. CW's Supergirl. The Flash Supergirl. She was accurately portrayed from the comics because she's a warrior who only cares about her cousin Superman and her people. I really liked how she leaves the group, but then she comes back because she was inspired by Barry saving her life. And how even though she was abused by humanity, she decides to trust Barry and have faith in humanity again because of him. I thought it was really smart and funny to have our present Barry team up and put up with younger Barry, because it humbles our Barry and makes him a more mature and smarter hero. I love how this movie makes fun of the way Ezra runs, because before the movie I was like, nah bro, this man is ice skating. And I do like how the Flash's lightning color changes. When he's wearing regular clothes or no clothes or his original Justice League suit, it's blue. But his new suit that comes out of his ring emits orange lightning. I like that. And the scene where younger Barry runs in the street and he catches on fire was hilarious. I really like the scene where Barry and younger Barry argue in the Batcave and he keeps alluding to their mom's death, but he doesn't want to tell his younger self, so it makes their conversation very complicated, and I thought it was a good scene. And I'm gonna give credit when it's due, but the scene where Barry goes back in time for the first time with the blue aura and the way his face stretches out looked really cool. I'd say the scene that hit me the most emotionally was when he talked to his mom at the store and he used his super speed to say goodbye. I thought it was very emotional and powerful because we spent the whole movie with him refusing to give up on his parents. But he had to learn that what's right for the universe and time itself is for his mom to die. And this is a rant on the CW Flash show and the Flash. I low-key get mad and got carried away. I just thought I'd let you know. And a lot of people were saying that they wanted the CW Flash in this movie. And I'm gonna get a lot of shit in this segment, but no? Like, I'm sorry, but the CW's Flash has no reason to be in this movie. And a lot of people were saying, Grant Gustin's Flash should be the Flash of the DCU. And no!
Hey, that was funny.
I really like Grant Gustin. Don't get me wrong, but I really do not like his Flash. And before anyone attacks me, hear me out. The Flash show genuinely pisses me off because I really loved the show up until season 4. And after that, it's the most wasted potential of a show I've ever seen. And somehow it just got worse and worse. Like, what happened? Why does the running look like that? Why is everyone its speedster? And most of all, why the fuck do they have lightsabers? When did this become acceptable?
I'm just gonna. What the fuck is this?
Grant Gustin's Flash was at his best in season 1, and heck, he was good in season 2. His Flash is horrible after that because his character never progresses or develops. In every season, he has the same character journey. He gets his ass beat. He complains and whines. Someone gives him a pep talk telling him to chill the fuck out. And then he saves the day. And then when a new speedster joins the team, he takes them in. He trains them. Something happens. He loses his patience. He acts like a dick. The new person gets upset. They run off. He apologizes. They make up. It's the same thing. And don't even get me started on them. And people shit on Ezra Miller's Flash because, one, it's Ezra Miller, which I get, and two, because they just don't like him. And I'm sorry, but Ezra Miller is a way more of a capable Flash than Grant Gustin's Flash. Ezra's Flash only has like 2 pep talks in total, while CW Flash has one every single episode, and it's the same thing.
Can do this now. Run, Barry, run! Run, Barry, run!
Then run, Barry. Run.
Barry, run.
I know, I got it. I got the concept.
Gustin's Flash is one of the most inconsistent characters I've ever seen. Homie literally runs so fast, he creates a second him while running, but he can't stop a regular ass human. Like, come on. Hate Ezra Miller's Flash all you want, but his Flash is consistent, and he has a pretty good character arc in his movie, and he actually gets shit done. Wow, that was actual frustration. That wasn't even in the script. I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Okay. Alright, okay. But at the end of the day, I'm literally just a nobody on the internet whose opinions don't matter anyway. If you love the Flash show, that's great, man. If you love Grant Gustin's Flash, that's great. I really like Grant Gustin as the Flash. I just don't like his Flash. But like, I love Reverse Flash and Zoom in the show. They're both really badass, and honestly the best part of the show in my opinion. But if you dislike or even hated what I say, that's totally cool. If you agree, then that's also cool. But at the end of the day, these are fictional comic book characters. We all have a right to an opinion. Man, they're gonna find my house, aren't they? Am I missing anything else about this movie? Oh yeah, the CGI. Look, I personally do not mind the CGI. As long as the story is good and the characters are good, then that's all I ask. Like, I've seen worse. Shark Boy and Lava Girl exist, guys. And Ant-Man Quantumania. And yeah, this movie has been in development and production for a long time, so I completely understand why people do not like how this movie looked. Honestly, this movie is very split. A lot of people hate and despise this movie, and a lot of people think it's very mid. I have to be honest and true to myself. I don't know why I like this movie. I understand that I am very mixed and biased and dramatic, but everyone is different, you know? Is this the worst superhero movie of all time? No. Is this the best superhero movie? Heck no. Is this the best DC movie? No. But it's a movie that I enjoy, even with all its flaws. And honestly, even appreciate that it came out. So, I'm going to give the Flash movie a 7.5 out of 10. Well, that was something. If you have any thoughts or comments, then please, let's keep it civil in the chat. I'd love and I'd be interested in knowing what you think of this movie and even your experience with this movie. Anyway, have a good one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. And also, Warner Brothers, stop messing around and make a Batman Beyond movie. Everybody wants a Batman Beyond movie, whether it be a live action or animated movie. James Gunn, please make a Batman Beyond movie. Okay, bye.